everyone, I'm Jessica Jade and this is Girl Talk. Our guest today is Joannie Campuzano. Joannie is an acupuncturist and an herbalist, and she's also the founder of Sano Acupuncture Wellness Center in the Bronx. She specializes in the treatment of fertility, mood disorders, and pain management. Joannie, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I was excited to have another Dominican with me here.
Yes.
In the wellness game. I'm so excited for everything that you're doing because I'm excited to talk about it in general because I think a lot of people in our community have either never heard of acupuncture, are terrified of it because they're like, oh my god, it's needles, you're gonna be stabbing me, or just don't know the benefits even if they have heard of it. So before we actually get into what acupuncture is, I want to know how you first became exposed to it because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a lot of Dominican acupuncturists. I just don't.
Well, there are a few.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
There are a few in Dominican Republic.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yes. And then, of course, there are a few here in New York, in the United States. So how I was exposed, I was doing my undergrad here at Hunter. I was getting my undergrad in biology. And at the same time, I was working in a clinic as a receptionist. And in that clinic, there was an acupuncturist. And I found it fascinating because it's holistic, it's natural, and I heard that it treated everything that you can think of.
Like everything under the sun.
Everything, yes. From like mood disorders, like depression, anxiety, to autoimmune diseases, to pain management, like migraines, low back pain.
Wow.
And so I was like, wow, like I suffer from fatigue and constipation. And so I asked her, oh, is there anything that acupuncture can do for me? She's like, sure. So she treated me. I started feeling better. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. But I didn't think that I would become an acupuncturist.
Right.
I was studying biology to work in a lab and, you know, maybe get my PhD in biology.
Okay.
And so after I graduated, I started working. I was working as a manager in a store. And the store, it was a small store. We sold mostly online. So I was always on the computer learning about different things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to study acupuncture. And I found a school. And from there on, it was just like, I felt like it was natural, like I was supposed to be there.
And I remember reading somewhere like a story about your mom. I think she might have gotten sick or something.
Yes.
And acupuncture helped her.
Yes. So I was exposed a little bit. I didn't know too much about it, but about, I would say 15 years ago, my mom suffered from a stroke.
Oh.
And and then, so this was in Puerto Rico. We lived in Puerto Rico for a few years. And so one of her treatments was acupuncture, which helped her.
Interesting. That they even described that.
This was 15 years ago.
Way ahead of our time.
Yeah, exactly.
But and you see, it's interesting that you say that because I feel like other islands in other countries are much more open to Western and Eastern medicine.
Yes, definitely. As
opposed to the United States of America, which is why these treatments are becoming so much more popular now. I think it probably also has to do with the internet, but we're more exposed to these things. So now that we know how you got into acupuncture, why you got into it, how it's helped your mom and you, I never even knew that it helped you as well. I had no idea. Tell me a little bit about the history of acupuncture.
So acupuncture, historically, they say that it started over 2,000 years ago. So it's a very, very ancient type of medicine compared to the conventional medicine that people know about today. And it started also with herbs. So, and then they found out like different channels that run in our bodies and how everything is connected, and not just physically, but mentally and spiritually.
So kind of like the nervous system too.
Yes.
Like everything is like...
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so, and then from there on, it has evolved. So every country has like their own style. Like there's Japanese style acupuncture, Korean style.
Which do you practice?
I practice a combination.
Okay.
I really love Japanese style, but I also do the traditional Chinese medicine style acupuncture, and I incorporate now more of a modern, what we call trigger point acupuncture. So it's like a lot of chiropractors and physical therapists, they're doing something similar now.
Yeah, because they're hitting like certain nerves, and I know massage therapists do something like that too.
Yes, so it's targeting like the certain knots in the muscles. So as acupuncturist, I know basically like how the body is connected, right? We know more of the theories, and on top of that, we'll needle into like certain spots that are more painful, the knots, trigger points, the motor points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I like to do a combination of everything. I think it's more effective that way.
So does acupuncture hurt? I think that's the question everybody's probably wondering, right? Because she's like, oh, needles. Oh, I hit the mortar spots and like the pain points. And I'm like, that sounds like it hurts. Does it?
It might hurt a little bit.
Okay. But it's nothing like getting a flu shot or something like that.
No, the needles, if you look at the needles, they're so small. They're like they describe them as thin hair needles.
Which means they're like
super thin. Like the hyperthermic needles that people use in hospitals, you can fit like maybe like 100 of those acupuncture needles into that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they're not shallow like those type of needles. So they're sharper, and so it's easier to insert.
That's so interesting.
Yes. And so, of course, if you already have pain in a certain area, let's say you have shoulder pain, and I needle, you'll feel it more. It's more sensitive because you're already experiencing sensitivity. So, yeah. So it's not like painful like people think it is.
So what ailments have you personally helped people manage or overcome with acupuncture?
So when I started, it was mostly pain management. So from low back pain, neck pain, migraines, shoulder pain, any type of pain in the body, even stomach pain, cramps. It helps with that.
You hear that, ladies? Acupuncture can help you with your PMS symptoms.
Yes,
I had no idea. That's amazing.
Yes. But I've also helped women with fertility, even men with erectile dysfunction.
Whoa.
I'm right now,
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like.
Currently, I'm also treating a lady that had Bell's palsy. So like helping with the muscles and getting back her face into like how it was originally.
Is it?
Yes, it does work.
I'm like, is it working?
Yes.
That is so interesting. I had no idea that acupuncture could be that effective. I've obviously heard of it. I've never had it done myself, but I'm like, so girl, I have celiac disease. My intestinal tracts, are all, they've improved because I've been gluten free for like 4 years now, and I have a pretty strict diet. I don't cheat and have a little bit of gluten. I don't do that shit. It doesn't work for me. But it makes me wonder, my shoulder pains, like, can I get some acupuncture and will that relieve it? Because it's like constant, like maybe it's stress, some people say you carry stress in your shoulders, but like I'll feel like my shoulders are like hurting me all the time. My poor boyfriend is like, oh my God, I'm gonna pay for a massage for you. But maybe it's something that I need to be working with at a deeper level.
Definitely.
Yes. The needles are reaching a point that fingers just probably can't.
Exactly. And also the reason why you're having the shoulder pain. Right? Because sometimes it might not even be just a muscle tension. It is muscle tension, but what's causing it? Why are you getting so tense? It could be emotional, like you mentioned, stress.
Right. And that's why that actually goes right perfectly into my next question. What questions should we be asking ourselves in preparation for acupuncture? Like that. That was perfect. Like if I went in to see you for my shoulder pain, I should think to myself, well, okay, I'm going to go in to treat the physical symptoms, but what is triggering those knots that I continuously get?
Exactly. Yeah, because you can continue getting massages, which I really love. Massages, I think, are important.
They feel good too.
Especially for self-care, which is something that you talk about. But coming in, you want to know what's the root cause of things, right? And we're figuring out what's going on emotionally. You can come and ask me about also like spiritually as well, and what you're eating, which is so important,
right?
Because everything is connected.
So this is it's a holistic approach, which is what it sounds like.
Yes,
I love that.
Yes,
I think I fell in love with acupuncture. Like after this interview, like, and I've been hesitant myself to get it because I am a little scared of needles. You would never know because I have like tattoos and stuff. You can see I have a tattoo that goes down my spine. You would never know that I'm low-key terrified of needles. I wait till the possible last minute to get the flu shot every year. My boss is always like, Jessica, did you get your flu shot? I'm like, I'm getting it. I'm going. It's not that I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to take my time, prepare emotionally. So I've always been a little bit hesitant, but I think that there's more than a few things that I can go in for.
Of course.
You know, and I know I'm taking care of the nutrition because I'm a health coach, so I eat well. I'm very spiritual. I meditate. I pray. I do all the things, but I'm like, what is it that's causing like the shoulder pain specifically? Because it's like constant. It's all the time.
Yes.
It's like nuts. It's terrible. That's really interesting. Talking about that and how I will most likely go get some acupuncture now. Where is your shop? Tell me more about it. What is the process of being a woman of color? Because she is young as hell, y'all. She's a baby. A woman of color who's a business owner in the Bronx, specifically owning like a wellness location.
Yes.
What is that like?
I feel like it's a little bit overwhelming in the sense that there's a lot of things that I didn't know that I was getting into. Mm-hmm. But very rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm able to help so many people, reach out to so many people as a business owner.
Right.
And so it's in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. I live in the Bronx.
BX all day.
Yes. And it's in the Hunts Point area, right? BX.
Yeah, I'm like BX all day right here. Just throwing that out there.
And I've always wanted a center like that. Even when I was during my undergrad, I was like, oh, this would be great to have a place like this here. And there was nothing like that. It's also a food desert. It's mostly like fast food restaurants. You don't find any like vegetarian, which now that I'm vegan.
Right. Now you're hyper aware of the fact that it's a food desert because your options are so limited.
Very limited. It's very hard to find very nutritious, healthy foods.
Yeah.
And so I was like, now that I have the opportunity to open a wellness center, and also to have other wellness practitioners to place practice their trades there, right? Now I'm like, this is the opportunity to share this with everyone.
Right. So what kind of impact do you want to leave behind?
I want to just be able to help as many people. Other entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. I want to help people that want to take care of their health and in all aspects of their health, physically and mentally and spiritually, and just leave a better place.
I love that. That's beautiful. Especially because in the community like the Bronx, I feel like we're so often forgotten until it's convenient for them to move in and take our buildings because they have nowhere else to live for cheap. We're always forgotten, and they don't think, okay, like let me open a wellness center where they don't think we want it. They don't think we need it. They don't think we care enough about our health. It's just that we don't have access to it. Sometimes it's not accessible, it's not affordable, and it's also not, these locations aren't started and opened by people who look like us. Mm-hmm. Like if I walked into a wellness center and the owner looked like you, I'd be like, okay, I am more inclined to do this because you understand me culturally, you understand me as a woman, and you're gonna get my needs. I'm not gonna have to explain to you why eating my pernil is something that I need to do. Because even though you're a vegan, you grew up eating certain foods.
Yes, I grew up eating pernil and pasteles.
Of course, so you understand, you're like, okay, culturally this is important, so how can I help her transition to a healthier lifestyle?
Yes.
Yeah,
so it's so important that, because I felt the same way, it's rewarding to see other people that look like me or have similar cultures as me and be able to communicate with them.
Right.
Yes, and I feel like it's easier to get to people that way.
It is.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that as a coach, I've had, and I won't ask you this question because it's actually a question I don't really like being asked. They're like, oh, how is it for you as a woman of color in the wellness industry? Do you think you're at a disadvantage? And I'm like, no, I think it's the complete opposite. I have an advantage because as a business owner, right? As a businesswoman, I have an advantage because there aren't as many people, like hundreds of thousands of people in the industry talking what I'm talking about, doing what I'm doing that look like me. So that gives me a bit of an edge. We're out here, don't get me wrong, but it's not at the amount of, you know, our Caucasian colleagues, right? And as a woman of color, I feel like I can serve a greater population because there aren't a lot of people that can. I have the ability to access, to talk to them in their own language, to understand the food that they like, the music that they like, the importance of family and cultural events that someone from a different race or a different culture just probably wouldn't get.
Right.
That they would have to feel like they have to explain themselves. With me, you don't gotta explain yourself. I know what you're talking about. And I'm sure that you experience that a lot as well.
Yes. Especially with language. A lot of the people that come to me are Spanish-speaking patients.
And why is that? Because they're comfortable with you.
Yeah, they're comfortable with me. And it would be harder for them to go, let's say, to Manhattan and get treated by someone that doesn't speak Spanish. How are they able to communicate with them?
Right.
It's so much harder.
I feel that so deeply because my grandmother, you know, she's illiterate. She doesn't write anything. Can't write, can't read. She only speaks Spanish. She speaks a little bit of English, but just enough to get by. And recently she was having some we thought it was heart problems, but it actually didn't turn out to be. And her cardiologist ended up being a Puerto Rican guy. And my grandma's Puerto Rican, I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican. And she came home so happy because she could talk to him in her language and thoroughly explain what she was feeling without there being a language or cultural barrier.
Yes.
She was like, he understood me. And he was cute and handsome. He was tall. And I'm like, all right, Grandma, that's not what this is about. But, you know, she felt good that there was someone there that could understand her.
Yes.
You know? Anyway, enough about that. Where can we find you? Where can we find your services? I know you said you're in the South Bronx and Hunts Point.
Hunts Point. So it's 952 Southern Boulevard.
I'll put that down here for y'all.
Yeah. Southern Boulevard on the second floor, Suite 202.
Okay.
And I'm there. We're open every day except for Sundays.
Here you go.
Yes.
Sabbath. Self-care Sunday, that's what it really is.
Yes. And we have different services, not just acupuncture. There are massage therapists that work there. Awesome. There's an esthetician that works there. She does amazing facials. We're offering yoga classes and meditation. So cool. Yeah. So this Tuesday we're having a meditation / community acupuncture.
Look at that. You see this? That's amazing. Thank you so much for creating a space where our people and really anyone can go to perhaps holistic wellness. Because the yoga, the meditation, all of that, the acupuncture, the massage therapy, even the facials, all of that makes us feel better and actually makes us healthier too. So thank you for the imprint and the impact that you're leaving behind on our community. I really appreciate it.
I really love having me here and sharing the message with everyone.
Of course. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Joannie is adorable, and I cannot wait. Now I'm actually really excited to try acupuncture. We'll talk about that after, because I know I need it, and I'm excited for it. So thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for educating me and my audience, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in 2 weeks for another episode of Girl Talk. Who run the world? Girls.